actually quite comfortable. The right boot might be a little small, but that's alright. What company makes these ones?
I'm not sure of the brand of those ones.
I actually like how high these things go on the leg. It'd be great if you're running through mud or you're out in the woods camping. Feels like I'm standing in a cowboy boot, but it looks different. And it's got a nice wide toe, which is really comfortable. I wonder why they put the harness on it. Is it just fashion, or does it have a purpose?
I think some people refer to these as cavalry boots, because cavalry boots, like, were in the southern U.S. during wartime. I think they had sort of the squared off toe, but I'm not sure if they had the harness at that time. I know I saw a picture of a guy online that I think he had a knife stuck down on the side of the boot through the harness. So I've never heard of it used as any purpose for holding things.
What it almost feels like is if these two straps were tighter, I noticed in my boots, you'll notice that there's a lot of, it's let go a lot up here as the leather slowly stretch, but with these, because of the harness, it won't be able to stretch past a certain point. Also, if I was to be riding in a saddle, this point would likely receive considerable friction just because of the I believe they're called saddle horn. No, not saddle horn. Where if you stick your feet in, you would have a metal ring rubbing right along this spot. But with these boots having that strap there, that would probably help protect your foot from blisters and as well as boot wear.
I'm guessing that would be it.
But I could be completely wrong. I'm not a 1800s cavalryman.
It's interesting that I've never heard that mentioned before, but that sounds like the best reason I can think of.
That and the other thing that makes me think of is the spurs. If you look at a set of spurs, especially from the side, this has everything that a traditional spur has except for the actual spur.
I wonder if they would ever wear spurs over top of that.
It could very well be. I mean, to, again, protect the boot from wear or just make it more comfortable, because you'd have the typical spur was a metal U-shaped piece that would go around here, as well as a buckling system that would go around the front and sometimes down on the bottom as well. Quite commonly, actually. So if they had this there, then you'd be preventing, again, boot wear and possibly blisters on the inside.
So what do you think of this pair?
I think they're very well built, and I wonder where I can get myself a pair. I feel like just the perfect thing that I would want when I was out 4x4ing, working, or once they're cleaned up, they'd probably look pretty damn good in a bar. They feel solid, sturdy.
Have you known anybody who wore that style of boot?
Yes, actually, my cousin Marco has a pair just like these. And he wears them all the time, especially when he's on his Harley. It's almost dress code for riding a Harley is to have a pair of these or a pair of cowboy boots. It seems like they have an advantage when they wear these for the same reason I do when I drive my Standard. Because when you're driving, you put your foot like that, and because it has a raised heel, it allows you to have a raised anchor point, and then as you depress the clutch, and this is the same for a bike but in a different position, it gives you a fulcrum point that makes it easier to use to control. Whereas in a standard shoe, you have to use a full leg movement usually. Plus, when you're standing up, it gives you an extra half-inch of height. And lots of people out there enjoy that. I know I do. Not that I need it.
You think that's just a half inch?
Yeah, that seems like it'd be half inch. I could tell for sure, but I'd have to get up and grab my multi-tool. I know Dwayne the dog Chapman, the bounty hunter on TV, he wears a set of cowboy boots similar to the ones that I was just wearing, with the gold cap on the front, and he puts a 2.5-inch heel on because he's only about 5'9". He doesn't like to admit he's short.
I saw him at a car show. Crowd went wild.
I'll bet. Wonder how that guy has time to do all that. Celebrity appearances, hunt fugitives, and raise 23 kids.
He literally has that many?
Yes.
How many wives?
Let's just say he and King David had a lot in common. I think when I read his autobiography, he's had, at least 8 marriages. And he's got plenty of other kids that never had a marriage. He's already got 8 grandkids. And he's not even 60.
Any other thoughts about these boots?
Yeah. They, like I said, they're really comfortable. I like the height of the leather. It seems like they'd be dual function. When I was in the rain, I wouldn't have to worry about getting wet. I could just pull my pants up, tuck them inside the boot, and I would not have to worry about the rain, providing that I had taken care of them by using the polish and water protective that we're going to be using today. The top half of the boot, unlike a cowboy boot, is much softer, less structured. Feels like it moves better with the leg. Flexes a lot easier. Seeing the mud on them brings to mind one of the reasons they used to have such high boots was back in the old times of the West, they didn't have paved roads. They would have dirt roads inside the main streets of town usually. And as soon as rain hit, and especially in times like spring or fall, you would just get a pit of mud that would be the main street. So people needed high boots so they could walk through that without getting muddy feet.